You're listening to the AfterBuzz TV network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Keith Johnson.
From the AfterBuzz Studios in Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Kanellis and Bing.com, and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies, this is AfterBuzz TV's WWE Monday Night Raw After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. If you'd like to buzz in on tonight's show, you can buzz us at 424-256-1729. That's 424-256-1729. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AfterBuzz TV's WWE Monday Night Raw After Show.
I don't know why there's clapping at the beginning. I think they just assume we're going to do really well. What's up, all you stars and studs? I am Maria Kanellis, former WWE diva, current First Lady of Ring of Honor, and I don't know, a bunch of other random stuff that I'll talk about later. I am really sorry for those of you that are logging on to AfterBuzzTV.com right now and are crashing. You'll hear this later, because if it's crashing, then you can't hear it right now. Marissa, can you check on that for me, please? Because I'm getting all kinds of tweets saying that AfterBuzzTV.com has crashed.
I will definitely check that. And, of course, Bing is for doing. I'm here doing Raw.
We are doing Raw. And thank you, Bing is for doing. I don't really understand it yet, but Bing is for doing. I am here with two brand new co-hosts. It's so exciting. Thank you guys for joining me so much. I have a new super fan, Josh Padgett.
Josh Padgett.
Padgett.
That's right.
Okay.
Straight out of Rockville, Virginia.
Straight out of it, huh?
Straight out of it. By way of New York City and then now Los Angeles.
And what makes you a super fan?
Well, you know, I grew up in the, I was a child of the 80s, so my blood bleeds red and yellow. I'm a Hulkamaniac, and then I went through my teens with Stone Cold Steve Austin in the Attitude Era. So,
okay.
So
lots of middle fingers. Just lots of middle fingers. Just
cup the ear, give a flick off, you know, all of it. And then 3.5 years, I was undefeated world champion of TWF,
okay.
Trampoline Wrestling Federation.
Oh my! Were you ever a part of those, Nigel?
No, I think Jeff Hardy started there, right?
And everybody,
you beating for the belt?
This is Nigel McGuinness. He is currently a commentator for Ring of Honor. He's also a comedian, a magician extraordinaire, and also a former world champion and a pure champion as well.
There you go.
And
You've done your research.
Both of them
Look at that.
for longer than anybody else. Is that still current?
Yes and no. I was the longest pure champion, but the world champion, Joe beat me. Joe beat me in months, and Dragon beat me in matches.
Yeah.
So I was kind of in the middle, between those guys.
That's amazing. So glad to have you here.
Nice to be here. Nice to be here. Fantastic. Excited to find out what Josh knows about professional wrestling and doesn't.
I am now. We were talking about it before, and we realized you are a pure super fan because you don't read any of the stuff on the internet. So I am very excited to have you in here because our last super fan, he read a lot of other stuff. So we heard about all of his opinions on the fake stuff that goes on the internet all the time. But we'll get to you in a second. I just want to talk to Nigel a little bit more. You're still involved in wrestling. Are you still passionate about it?
Somewhat, yes.
Okay.
I still believe it's a wonderful art form, and I've devoted my life to it. So you can't lose that passion, but obviously, like most things in life, you become a little more cynical.
Yes.
You know what I mean? As you totally understand as well. So I have to keep sort of punching myself in the face and saying, remember the good things, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like any kind of a relationship in that regard.
What made you get started in it?
A fan, always a fan, and went to Wembley Stadium when I was like 14 years old, SummerSlam 92. Turned to my buddy, I said, I am going to be a professional wrestler.
Really?
Never grew up, you know?
I don't think any of us do that are in this business. We're like, travel from place to place.
Yeah.
Just live out of a suitcase. It's totally fine. Never really have a sturdy home until a lot later on. But I do still love that part of it a bit. But there are times that, like tomorrow, that I just don't want to fly. So I'm sure that you get that as well.
Yeah, I mean, I'm lucky actually. Just doing the commentary for Ring of Honor, and I do one other show in West Virginia where I'm the commissioner. So it's not as bad as it used to be.
Okay.
And I never did the WWE flight schedule, which, from what I understand, is like murder, right?
Oh God, 300 days a year.
Right.
You just you see your house kind of. You're like, hey house, all right, bye.
But you make the money to make it worth the while.
Yeah, unless you're a girl, and then you
really?
just wish that you made the money
I thought
to make
you guys did okay.
Depends on what you consider okay.
Right.
And I guess in a lot of senses you do make good money, but at the same time, you have to pay for so much of your travel as well.
Right.
So if your rental car is costing you $800 and your hotel rooms are costing you $400 in a weekend, and you split that between even 3 girls, pretty much half of your money is already gone before you even get home.
Right.
So it's superfan is surprise.
Why do you have to do that? Where's Vince at?
Because it's professional wrestling. See? This is why I love it.
Wow.
Yes.
You guys.
90 minutes is not going to be enough for this.
It is not. No, we pay for our own hotels. We pay for our own rental cars. We drive ourselves from town to town. And that is why some days we have to wear far too much makeup on our faces because we're like those zombie
The
wrestlers.
girls have it very difficult because you obviously you're held to a higher standard physically. I mean, you can't walk around looking like a dog because the second someone sees you in power, that's it. You're
out
the
of there.
window, right?
Yeah, you have to be 22.
Yeah,
For as long as you
heavens
can
forbid
be.
you gain like 5 or 10 pounds, and then same fucking thing, right?
Yeah.
Can I say that or not? Can I cuss?
Oh, of course.
Brilliant.
They told me a while. They told me a while ago just to play and have some fun, and that's what I like to do with it. Because for so long I was I was in that world where everything has to be controlled and everything you have to be within those certain boundaries. And sometimes I go back and forth with people on the internet, the lovely ones on the internet, just because I can, not because I actually care what they say, but because I can now. But yeah, we drove ourselves, and wrestlers do that. And independent, I think, is worse because you don't have a nice locker room.
Yeah, we don't have a nice most things, but we don't have the same schedule. So I don't know, I mean, you mentioned 800 for a rental car and then 400 for a hotel. I mean,
yeah, between the whole weekend,
Really?
because there's a drop-off fee. So you would start off one place and you drop it off another. 800 was about as much as it goes.
Really?
4
Yeah.
days and 800, but then you split in a hotel room, $100 every night, and you
Right.
end up, it's a lot of
Wow.
money. But
yeah.
at the same time, you're passionate about it, excited to be there, and just like these guys were in San Antonio tonight in Texas.
Right.
And they have a new song. That song has been there for the last 2 weeks, I think. But I think originally I thought it was just for the 1000th episode. It's Tonight is the Night, and it's by Out of Sight, which is a very complicated thing all to say together, just saying. With the new music, the beginning was also longer. They don't usually show so much in the beginning, but I think because the show's so much longer, they had to stretch it out. Doesn't it seem like they stretch it out?
Quite a coincidence there that the theme song lasts a little longer now. But I mean, it was time for a change, I guess. Like, I can't stand Nickelback, but they actually fit pretty well in the beginning of Raw now. So now we got this out of sight urban type feel for it. It's not right.
I hate it. I hate it. Did I mention I hate it? The GM comes out, AJ, and she has all these announcements about the matches tonight. And of course, here comes CM Punk because he has something to say. And he was, very, adamant about saying that he made a mistake. And he says he's sorry. I don't necessarily believe him because it's all because AJ's now the GM and wants to get his way with it. And then he wants her to cancel the 3-way match, the triple threat match at SummerSlam. Well, cue John Cena. John Cena comes out and he says, you don't demand, but you earn respect. And I don't know if it's a throwback to coming into the company or if it's a throwback to anything, but I feel like there's a real fight behind that. I don't know if you got.
How does that work? Like, when they do those promos, how much of that is scripted and how much? Because the argument is that when wrestling was at the peak of its popularity with Rock and Austin, they were given scripts, but they went out there and did whatever they wanted to do, and that was arguably why it was so successful. But from then to now, from what I hear, there's far more constraint put on what people have to say. I don't know.
There is, but there isn't. I mean, when I used to do the backstage promos with Cena, he would never go on the script, ever. No, and all of a sudden I'd be standing there and he'd be making comments about me, and I was like, okay, this wasn't on the script, and I'm brand new, and I don't really understand where you're going with this, but I'll just stand here and nod my head.
Right.
But, you know, then, and I'm sure with Punk, I'm sure he doesn't follow the script anymore.
Right.
I think he kind of got off of that path last year. So.
Right, when he did that deal. So Josh, let me ask you, as a fan, there was, what was it, 15, 20 minutes when we started the promo?
Yes.
How did you feel about that? I mean, as a fan who's watched it all your life and not, you know, not smart to the business in that sense, someone that would arguably pay for a pay-per-view or a DVD, how do you feel about that? Do you feel like, oh, I want to see wrestling, I don't want to watch people talking for 20 minutes, or does it engage you?
No, yeah. I mean, I'm all about the promos.
Oh, yeah?
As long as they're good and like not boring and vanilla, white bread. I don't want that stuff.
All right.
And tonight, I think was we'll get to it later, but there were like 3 epic promos that I really liked.
So you really enjoyed this promo? No. There's a no.
I don't like
That's
it.
a no.
You started off cold. You can't do that.
That is a no, big no. Yeah, and I mean, Cena was talking about how he fights every day, and I'm sorry, but I'd like to see a change in Cena at this point. I get the respect and the loyalty and the hustle and all that, but I want new Cena.
He's got to go heel.
How could...
He
said he wasn't smart.
he knows one word.
Go heel. But like, what would you have him do? Because
I don't know, because you can't get him away from it.
You can't.
You can never get him away from it.
If the record's not broken, then don't fix it. You know what I mean? Yeah. Cena sucks. Let's go Cena. That was arguably the loudest chant all night.
Yeah.
So it's fine. Leave it as it is. You know what I mean? Just find new people to work with him. Arguably, you know. I mean, try and address it from that situation, that direction.
So Big Show comes out, and then AJ's like, stop. I'm taking control of this place. Punk, you have a match. It's either against Miz, Kane, or Ray. And, of course, it's on Twitter. And so you get to tweet what you want to see. What do you feel about it? Since you're a super fan, what do you feel about all this social media stuff that's coming up now? Do you like it or do you hate it?
I like the banter back and forth that the superstars can do to each other. You know, like that's cool.
On Twitter?
Yeah, the Twitter stuff. That gives the fan like another avenue to look at and be like, oh my God, I'm involved with them right now.
Okay.
You know, this is the real them. This isn't the performers. But I don't tweet and do that stuff. So it's like, it's kind of lost on me when I'm like, why are they pushing this stuff so much? Oh, trending now worldwide. I'm like, can someone check on this and see if
it's not always trending
Alex Riley
worldwide.
Really is
Sometimes it's trending in like Bufu, Brazil, in one town like that's got 100 people in it. It's not.
And that makes it worldwide.
Yeah, it makes it worldwide. Because sometimes I've checked and I've been like, no, this is not worldwide.
Interesting.
I don't understand why it's even up there. What do you think about it? Because you said you hadn't seen Raw in a while.
No, I probably 3 years, 4 years, something like that.
Well, I appreciate you coming in. Thank you.
Well, I'm glad to be here. Won't miss it. But it just so many thoughts watching it, you know, just sort of from my angle as well, which is obviously different than an average fan or whatever else. But we talked earlier about what a different world it is now than it was even 10 years ago. I mean, when Rock and Austin, and I hate to keep harping back to that, but the internet was hardly really even around that much, you know what I mean? ECW was the first place where people started really going on the internet and following that sort of thing. And now it's become so mainstream that arguably it's almost taken away from the product, you know? And revenue streams are completely different now than they were even 10 years ago, you know? So that's changing the product. And who can say what's right and what's wrong? I don't think anybody knows exactly what the perfect puzzle to make money in today's world in professional wrestling is. WWE's trying something, TNA's trying something, and Ring of Honor's trying something as well. You know, the results are still out on all of them.
Yeah, and I think that they will be that way for a while to see what ends up happening in 2 years from now. Because whatever they're doing right now, it's going to take a while to catch fire and to really affect the fans to see who's going to stay and who's not.
You've got to stay on that course to find that out as well. You know, that's the thing. You know,
that's like sticking with a character with a guy as well. And it might not be okay at first, but then Daniel Bryan, it showed everybody was like poo-pooing all over him, going, "Oh, I don't know," and now all of a sudden his true talent shows.
Yeah, well,
because they
doubt.
stuck with him,
Right.
and they allowed him to become a weekly character or weekly person. But this is the same thing that he was doing at Ring of Honor, isn't it? No. Can you tell me about what he was doing then?
Well, Ring of Honor was a totally different product. The Ring of Honor was largely a bell-to-bell product. It was an in-ring product. People would pay to see matches that they couldn't see anywhere, that were more athletic, more realistic, more hard-hitting, more than everything, you know what I mean? The promos were good as well, and the backstage. I mean, you know, Punk made a name for himself, obviously, in Ring of Honor doing promos, but also had fantastic matches as well. But it was a totally different notion of what professional wrestling was, because, I mean, WWE is sports entertainment.
Yes.
And Ring of Honor was always professional wrestling. So it was very, very different. We were more harked back to an older age, you know, the old NWA champions, if you will. You know, Flair, Steamboat, Jack Briscoe, those sort of guys, you know.
Yeah.
So it was a very different product. And I think Dragon will tell you the same, you know.
Yeah.
Not that anyone is better or worse than the other ones. And I'm sure he's probably far more enjoying taking his checks home from WWE than he was from Ring of Honor, you know. It's just apples and oranges.
I guess I just meant like character-wise. Is he the same type of character he was in Ring of Honor? Or?
No, I mean, he had his catchphrase, you know, best wrestler in the world when he was in Ring of Honor, and he's got his catchphrase, yes, 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 now, which is kind of similar, but he was far less nonsense in Ring of Honor. His character in Ring of Honor was, I'm the best wrestler in the world, and I can prove it, and he proved it every time he went out and wrestled.
And now he's kind of gone on the
He's more
funny side.
Well, he's more digestible, you know, for the average pro wrestling fan or sports entertainment fan. You know.
Do you enjoy Daniel Bryan?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Do you like watching him?
Punk and Bryan, like, I'm all about them right now. Yeah.
All right, so they came out with the match, and it was Ray and Punk, and they seemed to kind of not be on the same page at the very beginning, if I could say that. I think they were pretty much calling it on the fly, as you said in there. Do you know what that means? No? Yes?
You know, they're winging it. They're going to wing it.
What was your take on the match? How did you think it was a good match? Or
Oh, yeah. I mean, I was happy. Yeah, I was happy with it.
entertaining?
Yeah, it was entertaining.
And that's all you need. Yep.
See, it's such a different thing because, like, you and I watched the beginning and we're like, ooh, okay, where are you going? Okay, sweet. And then finally they kind of grooved into it a little bit more. And by the end of it, when, you know, they got to the cutoff spot, when they did the drop kick into the whoopee cushion onto the floor, and by the time they came back up on TV, I really think they were on the same page.
Well, it's an art form, and there's not many guys that can do that, you know. And guys like Punk and guys like Dragon, because of where they came from, they have that ability, you know, which guys like Austin and The Rock and Foley and all those guys had to have that ability as well to be able to change things on the fly. And that's why it's an art form, you know. That's why it's not just pretending to fight each other. It's not. It's feeling the crowd. It's waiting for opportunities and moving that direction. And you can't do any of that if you don't have that ability. And that ability doesn't come from, you know, training in a factory.
It doesn't come there at all. It's interesting because I actually talked about this to Winner a couple weeks ago, Winner from TNA, anybody that doesn't know, about how I'm really enjoying wrestling now. Because, you know, we can play a little bit more. And I can go out there and learn new things. And I can go out there and not be so constrained, and I enjoy wrestling so much more now than I ever did then. I understand wrestling so much more now than I ever did when I was with WWE, and I think that's interesting because at the largest wrestling company in the world, I didn't really get it, and now I'm starting to. It's weird to see that. And you can really tell with guys like Daniel Bryan and CM Punk and Damian Sandow and guys that have been out there and they've, you know, experienced that world. You can tell so much on television. I mean, it's like Dolph has been wrestling for a long time now. He's been up and down and up and down. He's had some great trainers with Lance and also with Al. And so he's been around the block a little bit. So
that was fantastic. I love him. I really do. I think he's
Yeah.
one of the best ever.
So I find that very interesting.
But let me ask you this, though, as a female wrestler now, and you know, you've been to the highest heights of almost being idolized I don't want to say objectively, but they being an athlete wasn't as big a deal as being a beautiful woman, correct? Now that you have the ability to arguably affect how people see women's wrestling, what sort of direction do you see it going as? Because a lot of times, I hear girls saying, I think women should be able to wrestle just the same as men, etc., etc., etc. Is that the direction you think, or?
No, I actually, I don't think that that's right either, because women's wrestling, when it started, was as like a special attraction, and so I always would want to keep it special. I mean, I just finished reading Moolah's book. I'm reading Mildred Burke's book now, and it's interesting that they even say that there's a time and a place for it, but once you're inside the ropes, it's time to go to work.
Right.
And I love that. I love that approach, and I wish that approach was pushed more in WWE. I run the girls division down in Nashville for Crossfire Wrestling, and I put it that way with the girls. Like, there's a time for the glitz and the glam and all of that, but once you get inside in the ring, I want them to do what they're good at, and I don't want it to be, if you're foo-foo, be foo-foo. If you're goofy, be goofy. If you're a tough bitch, be a tough bitch, and that's okay. And I think that's the way it should be, and that's what the fans appreciate. They want to see that. They want to see strong, powerful women. But when you don't give them the time or the place to do that and to show that they're strong and powerful, then the girls just get looked at like they're insignificant. They get looked at like they're not important. And I think that WWE started on that downward spiral right around the time where Melina and Michelle and Mickey were all released, and now all of a sudden they have to find a way back up, and it's a difficult difficult road.
I think, and not to go off too much on a tangent, I think that the danger is that in WWE's eyes, arguably, women are there because their demographic used to be the 18 to 24-year-old male. They want to have hot girls that look hot. They don't really care about them fighting wrestling. They just want to see them have a cat fight. You know what I mean? Whereas you could argue there are other demographics, for example, young women, that would want to see more of the athletic side of things, and they're not really concerned that much, but they want to see women hang, in terms of having an entertaining, exciting professional wrestling match, which can be done. It's just, it's very difficult.
It is. It's very difficult. And I always go back to the thing that a lot of times when I do signings, it's a lot of women. I get so many women. I don't know why, but it's always been that way. When I was in WWE, when I've been outside of WWE, so many. And now I'm getting so many people saying stuff to me about my ladies division and about the approach that I want to take to it, and the things that I've been saying when I've been on Twitter or Facebook or different comments, and women coming up to me and being like, it's really nice to see someone standing up for it now. It's really nice because I do have a voice, and I can have an effect on things because I have a small division, and maybe if we start in the small division, maybe we'll get lots of people watching, and maybe it will help change things. And I think that the difference is at Crossfire, we don't care who main events. We just care that it's the best match on the card. And we just care that those are the people that want to go in there and put it on the best match. And so it doesn't matter if it's male or female, tall or skinny, fat or ugly. It doesn't matter. As long as the people going out there are the ones that have the fans. And
Over's over.
Yeah.
Are you familiar with the term over or not, Josh? You are?
I learned the definition of over when Al Snow in ECW had hundreds of fans throwing styrofoam heads up at him when he had the head. And it was that's the definition of over right there. You can do no wrong.
Awesome. Okay, I have to go to the next match, but we'll talk more about that.
Before you can go to the next match, I'd just like to take this moment to talk about Amazon. Here at AfterBuzz, we have this awesome affiliate program with Amazon. So if you go to AfterBuzzTV.com, there you'll see at the top the Amazon banner. If you click that, it'll take you to your regular Amazon. But doing that, it helps us here at AfterBuzz keep the lights on, keep Maria doing the show, it keeps Nigel coming back. Thank you, Nigel. And we just do this out of love. So if you can show us some love, please go to AfterBuzzTV.com, click the banner, and shop away.
See, and last week we decided that we were going to buy all the bras on Amazon.com.
Bras?
Bras, yeah. From AfterBuzz TV, we would click the link that takes us over to Amazon, and we would buy all of my bras. Because last week, was I wearing a bra last week? I don't know why we discussed it, but me and Jensen decided I needed to buy my bras there.
What do you think about bras, Josh?
They used to be tricky.
They used to be tricky.
I prefer panties. I'm more of a panty man.
Well, then you can buy panties.
I could buy panties. Can you buy, yeah?
Yeah, you can. You can buy panties.
You know, in Japan, you can buy used panties.
Ew.
Off the street. Well, not off the street, but out of like...
But did you know that people have sold panties?
Really?
Soiled
Of mine.
panties, yes.
Not soiled. I do not soil my panties. I am a lady. I do not soil anything.
She is a lady. She is a lady.
Anyways, the other thing you could do with me is you can rate me on iTunes. You can go and watch it. Well, you can't watch, but you can listen to the show on iTunes. And then I would really like you to rate me, because when you rate me, it makes our show look better. And it only takes a little bit, so please do, and tell your friends and watch the show, because we're usually in the top 3. And today we are not in the top 3. The rest of the week we were in the top 3. So tell your friends and rate
Josh,
me on iTunes.
Look what you've done.
We're back. We're gonna be back on top.
We're gonna be back on top.
All
it
right.
wasn't Josh's fault. It was mine and Jensen's fault last week. But
my
we'll
first
blame it
time
on
ever.
Josh.
All right.
Because he's new, and that's what we do. Okay, so Christian Del Rio, they had a cross arm breaker match. The entire match. I think they sat in that move. I don't know how much else they did. They started hot. They did the post to slow them down a bit, and then we were in the cross arm breaker the entire match.
Really?
Yes.
I don't remember that.
You don't remember going back to it like every?
No.
No.
I mean,
What do you remember?
I remember him hitting it one time at the finish. I
Yeah,
remember
but-
him messing around with the arm, but I don't remember him seeing a cross arm breaker.
Okay, well, what do you call this thing then? Because that's what they called it.
They did not.
They did!
They did not.
They did! The
Josh,
whole time.
back me up on this. Did you see a cross arm breaker before the finish?
They were working that arm pretty hard.
Yes, but did you see a cross arm breaker?
That's what they called it.
Are you sure?
Well, I'm positive.
Have you been drinking again?
No, some Sprite. What is it called then? Since you're
It
the...
looked like a basic arm bar. I couldn't even see. I didn't really pay
Well,
that much close attention to it.
well,
but-
that's what it looked like to me as well, but they call it a cross arm breaker.
All right. All right.
Well, regardless, the match wasn't stiff enough.
Oh, the match wasn't stiff.
Huh? Right? You know. Right? Stiff.
Stiff, yes, stiff.
I think the match was a little too stiff, especially with that boot.
Oh, but they were being hard. Because I know last week, Santino and Del Rio, they had a real tough... Am I using stiff right? I mean, stiff is like, oh man, they're really hurting each other in there. They're really...
Well, they're
there
really
might be
hurting each other in there anyways, but, you
Yeah,
know, sometimes just a little bit more.
You know, there's some heat. You can see
I
some...
think any word used too much just sounds weird, doesn't it? All right. And I always talk about panties and stiff. I like yeah.
Just more panties. Okay, so distraction with the boot, and then it was Del Rio over Christian at the end.
Over.
Meaning one. And then we saw Sheamus with his Bertie.
Hello, Bertie.
I just, any accent I decided
I've got an accent.
I know you do, and I just adore it.
Josh,
I love all
taxi,
accents.
get out of here.
Accents are my favorite. Okay, so Sheamus stole the car, which we will come back to throughout the entire frickin' show. It's not like, you know, there's been stuff in the past that have been really exciting to look forward to, like the title getting thrown in the water, or the title getting thrown in the garbage, or you know, but the car, I just didn't really get into.
It's tough. You were writing a TV show 52 weeks a year. Keep it interesting. You know what I mean? Christ, imagine having
3 hours,
sex 52
too.
weeks a year, right?
Well, I prefer to do it 52 weeks a year. You know, I'd like to.
It's crazy. Once a month, plenty for me.
Oh my God, I would die.
Then I hibernate for 3 days.
I'm sorry, Mom. I apologize. I'm sure you're watching. Hi, Mom. Anyway, so Randy Orton, Big Show. lots of hot chicks in the audience. We noticed during this match. You were highly disappointed because we don't have as many over at Ring of Honor.
Well, it's just a different demographic, isn't it? I always remember, women follow money, evidently.
Well, this is true.
Women follow Randy Orton by the looks of things, right? I mean,
yeah.
what a good-looking guy, though, right?
Very good-looking
Still
guy.
looks fantastic after all these years.
I like him better now than ever, I think.
Yeah.
I think his in-ring, I just like him. He seems to capture the crowd better.
He's amazing. Absolutely amazing.
I just,
Yeah.
So, I mean.
Big fan.
Are you?
Yeah, huge
Really?
fan. Always have been. Always have
Really?
been. Yeah, just his presence. And I think that was always the knock on Ring of Honor wrestlers, is that people thought that we didn't care about any of the stuff beyond the moves. But we did.
Yeah.
We understood that, but just we used more of the moves to build. We had to, because we had that different. But the reason why Punk was such a great champion, or Dragon or Joe or any of the great champions, wasn't because of the moves. It was the stuff between the moves, God, there's an acting coach, Meisner. Meisner, is that right? And he said that acting is the stuff that goes on between the words.
Yes.
And wrestling is the stuff that goes on between the moves.
Was it you I was talking to the other day when I was talking about how everybody talks Ring of Honor was so great back in the day, blah, 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 and how it's not that way anymore?
No,
Was it you?
It wasn't me.
And and there's a lot of talk about, just wrestling over at Ring of Honor and stuff, but it was so great because of characters. There were still characters back then. It was the wrestling, sure, back then, but it was the characters.
And it was characters that weren't, I'm not a good guy or a bad guy, you know what I mean? I don't cheat all the time, I don't cheat no of the time, more shades of grey.
Yeah.
Like real
Good
life. Huh?
He said good book.
Good book.
Oh, you started reading it?
I haven't read it yet, no, but I hear good things.
Pornography for women, honestly.
Very filthy, apparently.
Yeah.
I'm going to read it. That's some good
okay.
note-taking right there.
Note-taking. All right, great. He needs to take notes. But I think that's, Anyways, I think that Ring of Honor it was great back then because of characters too.
And we still, we're now going in a different direction now. We've been taken over by Sinclair, and with Jim, helping out and everything else. It's still characters, but it's still great wrestling as well.
Yeah, and I like what's building right now, especially with like Adam Cole's and it just
Kevin Steen is a champion. You couldn't get more of a character there, right?
Steen is freaking incredible. So I just
talk about over or stiff.
Stiff. Anymore? I'll keep repeating. So chokeslam at the end, kick out. They go to the outside. There's a tackle. There's a couple other things, but there's a count out. And I like this match because it built both guys. I liked it because I think that Big Show couldn't have a loss going into SummerSlam, but at the same time, Randy Orton's just starting to gain some steam again. So I like this way of the finish. But I also think that right now they have to use the referee so much because there is 3 hours to fill. So if the ref means nothing, that means that every count in the corner means nothing. That means that every time you go to the outside means nothing. It means there's no way of stretching the time in some of these matches. Just a thought.
It's a fair point. I mean, the referee was arguably as important as the wrestlers in some of the big title matches. Tommy Young in a lot of the matches again with Steamboat and Flair, huge influence. I mean, amazing. If you go back and watch those matches, just the way that he added to the excitement of the match. Are you familiar with Tommy Young, Josh, or not?
I'm a Hebner guy.
Oh, you are? Okay.
Hebner.
A Hebner guy. Did you enjoy this match?
Yeah. I always enjoy watching Orton. And then going against a guy like the Big Show, he's huge. It takes a special person to get in the ring with him. Another big guy that I liked was Ryback.
Oh,
tonight.
Gosh.
I think
really?
he's rubbing on me.
Really?
Did you see the insane promo that they put, like 80s style, like in the corner?
Insane. I could cut that promo better. Sorry, Ryback, but I could.
No.
It was talking like this. Feed me, Seymour.
Yes.
Like,
let's do
really?
it.
Really?
You see, but look at that. See, look at his face
I
now.
know.
He's entertained. That it's as simple as that, you know.
My
I mean,
Ryback report. Are you going to report tonight? I have a caller that we call the Ryback report because he tells me what's going on with Ryback because he loves him too, and I don't get it because I don't think he's great. Like at the very beginning of the match, there was a crossbody and there was like fumbly cross,
right.
and I just wanted,
just doesn't matter for them though, you know.
It in here. I just, Anyways, Tyler X, Kurt Hawkins against Ryback. Tyler, you're starting to get a push, which makes me happy because you've been around for a long time now. And you were there when I was there and always nice to me. And Ryback with this pink eye and the feed me. And it was a handicap match. And a muscle fisherman buster. What? A muscle buster fisherman? What do I got going on here?
There was lots going on there. It started off for like a fisherman buster and went sort of through a muscle buster into a Samoan drop. And
because they had the leg and then he then let the leg go and then went into the crotch. And okay, so anyways, finish him, Ryback over. I just... that was how I felt. I mean, those boys were working hard in there for him. Hard. and I loved the dive. That was fun. Oh, my mom is no. Sorry, Mom. My mom.
Really? What'd she say? What'd she say?
Just a lot of interesting pictures.
Wow.
Yes.
Yeah.
But she did read 50 Shades of Grey, so my mom's got a little freak in her, I think.
The apple never falls far from the tree,
This
Mum.
is true. So we
about 52 weeks a year, but have you got a lot of brothers and sisters?
I have one brother and one sister.
Okay.
My sister's a hottie.
Is she?
Yeah.
All right.
Super hottie. Dating a very hot man, though. A baseball player. Anyways, so we get AW tag match, Titus O'Neil and D Young against Primo and Epico. I adore Primo. Primo is just... He's so just good in there, just has really good instincts about everything. Did you like him in there?
Yeah, what little I saw, it's tough to do in a tag match. You see people in the right place at the right time, and he's certainly very proficient like that. Again, that's arguably the difference between WWE and Ring of Honor is that with a TV product, you're very limited in what you can do. You don't get the opportunity to go out there and really prove you can go. And in some ways that's better, in some ways it's worse, but it's obviously better for the guys that can't work. But no, I mean, all those guys are very talented, But I mean, he was from Puerto Rico before, right? So he's, no one comes out of there, Carlito, fantastic as well,
Are they
comes from,
brothers? Cousins.
I think, yeah.
Cousins. So funny. There was a Twitter war going back and forth between Carlito and some fans, and they were like, why don't you go back to WWE? And he said, I would call Primo, but he's not returning my phone calls. I enjoyed that. I like the headstand, drop kick into the headstand, Rana. That was fun coming out of the corner, and that led pretty much into the hot tag that Epico had.
Hot tag, Nigel. It's when you're hurt and you're like making it over. You're reaching out. Come on, and then he makes it finally. Yeah, it's good.
Right.
Good stuff.
Fantastic. I have to learn that one.
Match is on fire.
Hot tag.
And there were no rape jokes tonight from AW.
Thank you for pointing that out. Thank you very much.
That's tragic.
It was horrible last week.
I didn't hear it. What was it?
It was about Kobe.
He's more dominant. Titus O'Neil's more dominant than Kobe Bryant is in a Colorado hotel. He's unstoppable, or something like that. I was like, oh my god.
Yeah, it was
funny though, isn't it? Like people's idea of comedy or what should be able to make jokes about or not. Do you think there's something that you should never make a joke about?
No, I just thought it was very. It was interesting that it was on WWE.
Yeah, right.
I think it's hilarious.
Right.
Personally, I think it's hilarious. But for WWE, it was like, oh,
all right,
really?
Yeah.
Oh. So R-Truth and Kofi come out at the end, which causes Epico to pin. Did he pin? I think he pinned Young. Young? I think so. Maybe.
Yeah, Darren Young was in,
Yeah, I think he pinned him. And that's just building up the tag belts, which is happy because is happy. I'm happy about. I don't, either way. But again, Just Sprite. Just
Sprite.
Sprite. That's it. That's all I can have.
I'll have a double Sprite.
I have the
bartender.
Sprite. But they have to get the tag belts over. They have to have tag matches now because 3 hours. And we'll get to this other piece in a minute about what else they need in these 3-hour shows. Damian Sandow comes out the intellectual savior. He's a martyr. He's going to stop anything that's dancing or people having fun. I just love that his language, just the way he articulates.
He didn't stutter, not once. It was beautiful. I mean, it was
Did
like
you-
Lanny Poffo back there, right?
Well, I was actually going to talk about the genius. Well done. So you've been, good for you.
I think.
Good for you. Very nice.
Like the genius. Oh, it was so good.
Yeah.
Did you enjoy it as well?
Yeah, I mean, as we talked about, it's nice to see someone that's really paid their dues and, that for a time probably felt like I did, like my career was over and, stuck with it and got back on TV. So it's great to see a success story like that. And he deserves it.
He does.
Very talented guy.
Went out there and kicked the hell out of Brodus Clay's leg. I hate now when they go off the ramp, though, because now they fall literally a half a foot. I hate it. It's so cheesy looking.
Yeah.
I don't know why the ramp is so short now.
Wheelchair access.
It looks so stupid. And then they come off and he hits it on the ramp. And I just thought it was dumb. Anyways, so AJ, Daniel, anger issues. Daniel has a new shirt. He does have a match at SummerSlam. It's Kane. Ooh, I thought it was going to be what's his face? Who's been showing up? The guy from Anger Management.
Charlie Sheen?
Charlie Sheen. I thought he was going to have a match with Charlie Sheen.
Charlie Sheen?
Yes, they've been pitching that he was going to do something with Charlie Sheen at SummerSlam.
Get out of town.
Yes, the last few weeks it's
Wow.
been. Yeah, and so I thought that was going to happen. I'm happier that it's Kane instead of horrible Charlie Sheen.
I love Charlie Sheen.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he's not a wrestler.
It doesn't matter. He's a god among men.
Really?
I'd watch 3 hours of Charlie Sheen over any wrestling.
Really?
Oh, totally.
I hate him.
Have you seen 2.5 Men?
Yeah.
Oh.
I've got a joke about that.
Tell me your joke.
No.
You have to say no. Come on now, say yes.
It's something like how much cocaine did Charlie Sheen do enough to kill 2.5 men? Something like that.
Nice. All right.
Hey! That's not actually part of my set. I just, stole
all right.
that from somewhere.
We'll need to hear some of it, maybe after the Divas match. So Kelly comes out. It's the first time she's been back in something like 4 months. There was a lot of speculation that she was leaving for good. So they must have came to terms with her contract, and she's still here.
Was she there when you were there?
Yes.
She was. Did you have heat?
Nah.
That means they don't like each other.
Yeah, they got backstage heat.
See, this right here.
Was she stiff?
No.
She
I
looks
just
stiff.
think.
Oh, we've stumbled upon something now. Ratings going through the roof.
I just think that sometimes we got to be careful what photos end up on the internet when people are involved with other people. Because it makes us girls that work our tails off to be very good individuals and be good at our job look trashy. So, other than that...
I never saw those photos. Did you, Josh?
I didn't. I'm going to have to Bing it when I
I
get
think
home.
she should be less careful with the pictures she takes, really. She set up her own website.
No, I just mean...
Tweet that. That would be trending, wouldn't it? Right?
It would
Trending
be.
now. Naked pictures of Kelly.
No,
Fantastic.
I don't mind those.
Oh.
Naked it up if you're by yourself. But if you're with someone else is someone else. Yeah, I don't like that.
Scandalous.
This is scandalous.
Scandalous, and I don't like it.
Marvelous.
It's exact opposite of what I'm about. I think that you have to be careful with that stuff.
Right.
Especially if you're trying to change I don't want to go to the next match. Especially if you're trying to change the opinions people are having about a certain group of individuals.
It's a fair point.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I have a problem with that
Right.
because I've fought my entire life to try and be just as strong as men and of course the first thing that happens and just as smart as the first thing that happens is I get a stupid gimmick. So what did I do? I got on Celebrity Apprentice, and as soon as I was out of WWE, I started to make a change with my life. But there was not random photos of me with someone else, because they don't go away.
Right, you're absolutely right.
That's it. That's my story. Okay.
Yep.
Kelly, Eve. Of course, Kelly's finisher is the roll-up. Eve goes to walk out. Kelly stops her. I don't know why Eve wants to walk out. Maybe because she's saying, oh, you walked out on the company, so I'm going to walk out on you. I don't know if that was the whole thing. She gets the handspring, back elbow thingy, and it goes for the stink face, and stink face doesn't happen. There's a roll-out to the outside. Eve does an up and over catch, and that's kind of like the heat spot. And pretty straightforward comeback into the roll up.
Spot. Where is that located at, by the way?
I'm not going to tell you. So whole match, including the entrance and stuff, was 5 minutes and 5 seconds. So a little bit more than our 3 minutes we're used to, but maybe because it is 3 hours, maybe there will be more female time. I'd like to see Natty. Can I see Natty? Can I see Beth? Yeah. Can I see some of these other girls like the Sarah Del Rey's that are rumored to be going down to the FCW FCW in the near future? Can I see those girls on my television screen? Because I really enjoyed when it was Trish and Lita, and I liked to see Gail Kim and Victoria and Molly, and I miss those days. So can I have them back, please? Yeah. Do you think I'll get them back, Nigel?
Well, if Crossfire comes and really, makes a difference. And you got to understand, like Paul Heyman had an idea about changing professional wrestling as what it was with ECW, and look at the influence that he made on the business. So it's certainly doable.
Yeah. Well, that's the plan. Paul Heyman's amazing. So
yes, he is.
If I could do one thing that was even slightly remotely 10 times removed close to the genius he had, it would be phenomenal.
Without doubt.
So we did get a girls' match tonight. So everybody at home, you did get that. There was the talks of doing a tout thing. So horrible. I hate tout. Shawn Michaels comes out. It's his hometown. Thank you, everybody. I got a brand new shirt. Please buy my shirt, because that's what I want you to do. When I wear new things, I want you to buy that one particular new thing. It does have my Hall of Fame ring on it, and it says Mr. Hall of Famer. So you should buy this shirt. Talks about DX, and then Brock Triple H comes up. And, you kind of assumed that he was going to come in and talk about this match between Brock and Triple H. And I'm going to move through this pretty quick, because really I could just go on for days about how amazing Paul Heyman is, but I don't have that much time today. So Brock, wearing his Jimmy John shirt, comes out with Paul Heyman. It doesn't surprise me that everybody wants your opinion. Biggest in-ring entertainer. This is one thing I wish they would do with Mike. But anyways, so Brock is not going to be an entertainer. He is going to fight. I wish Steen would fight and Mike would entertain. Just a thought. And then there's HBK coming back with, oh, you don't know this Triple H. You talked about his family. Triple H is going to whoop your butt, basically. And then Brock talks. Why does Brock talk?
Mm-hmm. Well, he did a reasonably good job in UFC when he was there, right? He was arguably one of the best promos in UFC, right? They loved it when he talked. That was arguably why he drew so much money.
Yeah? You think?
Obviously it's different cutting a promo in UFC, a promo, than it is cutting a promo in WWE or sports entertainment. Very different thing, but at the same time, you would think that arguably...
Am I just jaded about it?
Well, everybody has these things that they don't like. For you, it's his high voice,
Mm-hmm.
What don't you like about pro wrestling? What irritates you, Josh?
Yeah.
Is there anything that you just go, oh, God, I don't have to watch this again. I should go and, put on RedTube or something.
Anything with Hornswoggle is a big problem,
Oh,
Any of that sideshow stuff, I'm like, all right, let's move on.
Like Santino.
Don't you dare say a
Santino.
bad word about Santino.
I like Santino.
So do I.
I love him.
I love him.
He was not on my TV tonight, and I'm worried that his contract's coming up or something. I am so afraid because I loved working with him. I love him even more now.
He'll have a great run outside if he does. Either
Yeah.
way, he's pretty sick.
He's so good.
Yeah, I
And
love him.
his in-ring work has just gotten better and
Has it?
better.
I
Like,
haven't watched that.
so good, but I adore him. So Triple H comes out, another new shirt. Brock laughs, go to leave. I'll see you at SummerSlam. And Sean, I'll see you before that. I don't know what that means. Sheamus with his tout. Okay, great. He's eating chips in the car, whatever he's doing. No. Jericho comes out wearing Dolph's shirt. And then it's Dolph and Alex Riley. Then the finish, I know I'm running through these matches now because I have to. But so then at the end, Jericho is touting it and it causes the roll up. I just want Dolph to just have a major run. I'm ready. I'm ready for him to have a major run.
Yeah, as the top guy.
As the top guy.
Wow.
Yeah. Or at least like one of the top guys. Like even if it was like top 4 guys.
Oh, I think he's owed it. Like he's got the Money in the Bank. He's gonna get put over at SummerSlam when he faces Y2J.
Okay.
And especially tonight with the tout crap that was going on all night, this was actually a use of the tout that I actually enjoyed. Like I thought that was a good use. I mean,
yes.
I want to go online and look at
What
tout
the
for
match
the first
was.
time because Jericho, I want
Yes.
to see from his point of view. That'd be
Right.
cool. But it'll
Agreed.
be his time.
Okay.
He's gonna get it. He's gonna get it in 2 weeks.
You do have to understand that a TV show is to sell stuff. You
Yes.
know what I mean? We are, as fans, we were all under this sort of like illusion that there was this entertaining show. That was why we were watching it, and that's why they put this show on. It's not true at all. It's there so that you watch the commercials, etc., etc. And now, because of social media and because how everything else has changed, you're seeing more product placement during the actual show, and it's becoming more overt than it was, a few years ago.
Yeah. Well, I don't like tout. Anyways, so Miz, Kane, and it was Kane. He won. This was a match where I was actually doing stuff with Fox News at the moment, so I didn't really catch the match. Did you enjoy this match?
Yeah, Kane won. So
Yeah.
I heard
it's a very tough spot to be on. It's late in the show. It's a 3-hour show already. There's no meat behind the match. There's no reason behind it. 2 characters just thrown in there. And both those things together. It's going to be difficult to have a crowd sort of pleasing match.
Yeah. Do you think 3 hours is too long?
Yes and no. It's certainly too long to maintain entertaining sort of values, but then again, it's really all about the bottom line. And if in 3 hours you can make more money for WWE than you can in 2 hours, then no, it's not too long. But arguably you could say, yes, I make more money in 3 hours, but because people are tuning out by the end of it, in the long run, it ain't going to pay off. That's a question for Vince McMahon.
You just need to have more storylines. I mean, we have 3 hours of wrestling, and really, we still only have like 4 or 5 storylines through the whole thing. You can you can have more time.
But let me ask you: can you watch 3 hours of anything?
Yeah. See, that's
I don't.
that's my thought. Is I don't.
3 hours of red tube. I can't watch 3 minutes, but that's something
Oh,
completely
no.
different.
Oh no. Anyways, okay. So Sheamus brings back the car. We get to see it all messed up. Daniel Bryan, John Cena. There was the drop toe hold kick to the rope in the corner that you just loved. You just loved
Good
that.
stuff.
I
Good
thought
stuff.
it was phenomenal. It was such a inventive thing. Didn't I see you do this like 100 times?
I may have done that on occasion, but
Yeah.
coincidences do exist.
I mean, there was several things tonight that I saw you do. So
Yeah.
I mean, that's it's nice to know that the stuff you do is done. That was done so well that people still use it today.
Who knows? Who knows how these things happen? Crazy.
5-knuckle shuffle, complete miss.
Isn't 5-knuckle shuffle like a euphemism for masturbating?
I would think so.
It is, right? Why would you call your fishing
I don't
move?
know.
All of his fans are kids.
Imagine if Kelly's finisher was called the blowjob. Right?
Did you hear about this new female wrestling promotion? It's called Blow.
Is it really?
Yes, beautiful ladies of wrestling. Why? Are you retarded?
Wow.
And anybody that works for them, like what?
Maybe that's just how they get paid.
Blowjobs. No. Who gets paid that way? The guys that are working there?
Blow, you know.
Yeah.
Oh, blow.
Oh,
no. It's so awful.
Yes, the coke. This is wrestling we're talking about, right? Yeah, it goes hands in hand.
The Coke. Oh God, no, it doesn't. Oh my God, just awful. That's the name of the promotion.
Yeah.
It's in Florida,
I love it.
think.
I love it.
Well, it's great.
I want to see more blow.
And every male does. Okay, so goat headbutt. I like that. He was so far across the frickin' ring.
What a dive! Yeah.
And then I thought that Cena was just gonna clobber him with his shoulder as he's coming down because he looked like he was trying to move. I loved the whole transition in the end. Into the STFU. No? Yes? It was like that. Okay. No?
Wasn't good.
No.
Great feat of strength from Cena.
She was
You
talking
looked
about
like you were grabbing jugs there.
Well, he's got huge pectorals. You know.
It is just
great feats of strength.
I mean,
Is that talking
I
of
don't know what to do with my hands
Subliminal,
here,
isn't it?
I got this
Subliminal,
microphone
yeah.
in my...
And then you're lifting them.
What's with the sexual undertone today?
It's me. I
is
don't
you.
know why.
Yeah.
I just always with the undertone.
Sweating. No, it was a great series of moves. One of the part of the art form is to try and make it look like you have a hold on someone and someone else gets into another hold without it being coercive. Which is an art form in and of itself.
It's definitely an art form because some people look like I don't know.
Right, I was really good at it, but fucking that didn't matter.
You became world champion.
Yes, you were. You were very good at it.
Yeah, even Kurt Angle said so.
Yeah, fantastic at it.
I beat him up
I
on
do
TV.
miss the dreads though.
He let me do it though.
I miss the dreads.
Who had dreads?
The long hair with the things and the.
They had no dreads.
Yeah,
Spiky blonde hair.
It was dreadish.
Come on, are you crazy?
Very. It looked like it was just and very blonde and just yeah.
Oh, back when you had that spiky hair?
Yeah. Maria.
What? I liked it.
I like you, but sometimes,
Sometimes what?
it's just a little much.
Punk, Big Show punches him out. He's tired of people disrespecting him, etc., etc. But why don't we take a little break? Why don't we do that?
Righto.
And then maybe we'll take a couple callers.
Yeah.
Want to do that?
A few more drinks.
A few more drinks.
Had enough.
Hey there, good buddies. The handle's Woolly Bear. I'm a truck driving man, but I'm not that old school kind of truck driving man, no. I like to listen to podcasts while I'm driving through these great United States of ours. And my favorite podcasts in the world are from AfterBuzz TV. And why? Because AfterBuzz TV is like a post-game wrap-up show for all your favorite TV shows. Like Jersey Shore, Dancing with the Stars, Mad Men, and a whole truckload more. I like listening to my Gossip Girl podcast, catching up with all my fellow fans and getting all the latest news and gossip. I got some strong opinions. And AfterBuzz TV lets me share those opinions with thousands of other listeners. Woo-wee, what a feeling. I used to doze off on those lonely stretches of road. And don't worry, I got the cruise control. But now I'm wide awake and listening to all the AfterBuzz TV goodness. Check them out. Give them a holler. And tell them the old Woolly Bear sent you.
And we're back. Are you chilling over there? What are you doing?
We're taking a break.
Chilling like a villain?
Indeed.
Chilling like a villain.
We are back.
We are back. Callers. Yes, we have callers.
Awesome.
Hello.
Hello. What's your name? Where are you from?
Hi. My name is Ashley. It's Maria.
And this is Maria.
Yes. I'm from Atlanta.
Hi, Ashley from Atlanta. Hi. Do you have a question?
Yes, I was actually calling to ask you because I had a suggestion that probably might be helpful for the divas.
Okay.
I was thinking, what if, how Layla's holding the title now?
Yes.
I was thinking, why not make Alicia Fox heel again? Because I thought she was awesome as heel.
Okay.
And actually, Why not have those two feud? I think Alicia can be very aggressive.
Well, the biggest problem I think is that the title doesn't mean anything right now. It's
Right.
never on TV. Layla should have been on commentary. Something with the title would have been nice because it doesn't mean anything in the eyes of the fans. And as soon as the girls make it mean something, then it'll make it mean something to the fans as well. And I think
Is it up to the girls to make it mean something, or is it not really the people that write the show?
it's a little bit of both. It's a little bit of trust.
I mean, the girls hardly have time on TV to portray themselves anyway.
This is true. I agree with you wholeheartedly. But yeah, it's always it's a constant fight between what time they have in the show, what can they do, and what can't they do. Are you drawing a picture of me over there? What are you doing? You're looking
Can you
very
just take
sneaky.
this call? Okay, you're in a very important conversation.
Well, thank you very much for calling in, and I appreciate that.
Thank you, Maria. Hold on
Thank
to that
you.
title as long as possible.
Thank you so much.
Ashley from Hotlanta. I like that.
Hotlanta. Is there another caller?
Yes.
Yes.
Cedar Rapids.
Hi there.
How's it going?
Good.
All right. First of all, I'd like to start saying Ryback is way awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, God. No. Why?
Why do you think he's awesome?
That's his brother, right?
Well, I will tell you I think Ryback is awesome. Tonight, he had Pink Guy going, man. Come on, that promo was kick-ass.
Yeah.
He just talking about how he wants to be fed
See?
more competition.
That
I
homo
understand,
was
man.
kick-ass. Is that what you said?
Man, all
What?
right. Okay, he was awesome. Then what? What else?
Well, I also thought that CM Punk was doing some pretty cool stuff tonight, but I don't like how it keeps coming at the end of the show, because I thought the end was kind of anticlimactic. CM Punk come out, puts belt on John Cena's face, then Big Show comes out. That's boring. They need to do something real big. They should have saved Shawn Michaels.
What would you have
to
them
the
do?
end.
Save Shawn
I
Michaels?
would have had Shawn Michaels and Brock Lesnar at the end.
Doing what?
I'd have Brock Lesnar destroying Shawn Michaels, doing raise Triple H even more to bust out a sledgehammer at SummerSlam.
Sounds good. Send your
All
resume
right,
to
perfect.
WWE.
All right, you write the show. All right, and thank you very much, caller. Do we want to take
All
one
right.
more? Yes. Okay, I'm getting a thumbs up. We will take another caller. Hello.
Hey, this is Lance from North Carolina.
Hello, Lance from North Carolina.
Hey.
What's your question?
Well, I don't really have a question. I just wanted to comment on the show. I thought it was pretty good. And I just...
Our show was pretty good, or Raw was pretty good?
well, your show's good every week. So,
Oh, well, thank you.
Is it any better this
Okay.
week than normal or not?
Well, I think Nigel added a little bit something extra this
Thank
week.
you very much. Agreed. Agreed.
Definitely does.
Yeah. I'm actually looking forward to Dolph Ziggler and Jericho. I don't think it's being played up as big as it probably would have if it was a different era and Jericho wouldn't be transitioning out like it looks like he might be. But I think that's going to be like a really big moment for Ziggler, because if you look at what Jericho's done over the years, I think he's going to do a really good job with Ziggler at SummerSlam. I think that's what we're going to be talking about when it's all over with.
Nice. All right. Well, thank you for that. I appreciate that.
Yep, they can certainly do it.
Thank you so much. Thank you to all of our callers. Nigel, I would love to talk about, instead of, we'll make this kind of a prediction.
Uh-oh.
Do we have the prediction? There it is.
And
Is
now,
that prediction?
your
Those-
AfterBuzz TV.
And see, the lights go now. We didn't have the lights before, but we have the lights now that tell us it's prediction time. Instead of our normal predictions, I would rather just talk about your future. What does your future hold? What are you doing? If you want to do a magic trick at any time, you can.
Well, it's interesting. You said predictions. I'd like to hear your two independent opinions on what you think my future will hold. Let's predict my future, the future of Nigel McGuinness.
The
Will I be
future-
alive in 5 years?
Yeah, you'll be alive.
Of course.
Okay.
You'll be alive. You'll have a documentary out
Okay.
about your final trips on the road, your amazing past career.
The Last of McGuinness. Are you familiar with it? You're not familiar, are you, Josh? I told you a little bit about it, right?
Yes, yes.
It's really it's an insight into the professional wrestling world outside of WWE. I think a lot of professional wrestling fans who are WWE fans arguably don't realize there is a world outside of it. I mean, they really don't.
I didn't know.
Right.
I had no idea. When I entered in WWE, I didn't know. And the only time that I started to know was when I was dating Punk.
Right.
And that's when I started to see it. And that's when I really appreciated it. And that's why I'm so excited about this documentary.
Right. I mean, and there's something for everyone. I think for a lot of the guys who have only ever wrestled on the indies and dreamed of going to WWE, or even if you're a fan of independent wrestling, or even if you're not a fan of independent wrestling, if you're a fan of WWE, I think it gives you some insight to see how a lot of the guys like Punk and like Dragon, how they got to be so good. By going out there and wrestling on shows in front of 35 people and busting their ass and learning the art form, because you have to. Yeah, I will put Ring of Honor's crowd against any other crowd in the world as being the toughest crowd in the world to entertain.
It is.
I mean, it's absolutely crazy, and the idea that it's just a lot of spots and, there's no psychology to it is nonsense, because there's more psychology to it. Yeah, a lot of times if you watch Japan wrestling, you watch any Japanese wrestling?
Yeah.
People will watch that, and if you're a WWE fan, you won't get it immediately because there's lots of subtleties to it, and there's those subtleties that people really pick up on. And it's not just outside of WWE as well, because Shawn Michaels is the master of those little subtleties that build throughout a match. Bret Hart, the same thing, I mean, it's just an art form, and my documentary, I'm hoping, will show people why that exists, how that exists, and just will give you an idea of the passion of professional wrestling, why we all do it, why do we put our life on hold for so long, and drive 6 hours for $50, why do we do it?
I am very excited about that. And I have a couple other questions for you. What was it like working with Punk and working with Daniel Bryan? Because I'm sure a lot of our viewers would love to hear your perspective on those guys.
I mean, it was always, those guys, I'll put them up there with anybody in terms of the best wrestlers in the world. It's a funny world that we live in now in the professional wrestling world. 20 years ago, 30 years ago, there were territories. If you were a world champion, if you were the NWA world champion, you wrestled all over. You had a Jack Briscoe, you had a Harley Race, you had all those sort of guys. Now it's a completely different situation to where you have WWE and you have everywhere else. The Jack Briscoes arguably wouldn't be in WWE now, because they wouldn't necessarily have the right look. They'd probably be in Ring of Honor. They'd probably be in Japan. They'd probably be in other places. You know what I mean? So it's a completely different world that we live in today. And so I feel very proud to have, wrestled with a lot of guys that I consider to be in the same vein as the Jack Briscoes of the world. Punk, Dragon, Austin Aries, Samoa Joe. The list of guys that came through Ring of Honor. I believe in 10 years' time, people will look back and go, "Wow, I was just." Amazing how much talent came through that place,
It's amazing how much talent there still is in the company.
Absolutely.
And it just continues to build. And I think that's one thing with Ring of Honor is there's so many opportunities to really take it to the next level. And that's why I love it so much. That's why I loved it then. That's why I love it now. But
we love having you there.
I'm trying.
You do, honestly.
I'm fighting.
My favourite part of every show is when Mike Bennett comes out, but not because he's a wrestler.
I'm definitely fighting it there. I have the match coming up with Sarah this weekend. I find a lot of pride in that match. And the fact that she's such a sweetheart is amazing.
Right.
But, I respect her so much because she is one person that's one female that's really made a name for herself without the help of the two major companies.
Right.
She just kept going, and she can fight with any guys.
Right.
She's just as good as any of the guys. And do you know who I'm talking about? Sarah Del Rey. She's just phenomenal, and I find it such a privilege to work with her.
Right, and she from the very time when she started, she always believed that women's wrestling should be about athletic competition, and she's always stuck by that. So it's great to see so much success. But there were other wrestlers as well, Daisy Hayes as well, same thing. Oh God, yeah. Mischief, so many girls, and then obviously Karma, who's now in WWE. You know, I mean, there are a lot of great girls out there, and it's for everything you do say about WWE only wanting like models and stuff like that, they do have girls there now
that can work.
That can really work. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Beth can, Natty can. I mean, oh gosh, oh my God, why can't I remember her name?
Booze.
No, not the booze. It's because of my headache. No, the
Hangover.
No. Her dad was a Snuka. Jimmy Snuka. Yeah, it's Tamina.
Tamina, yeah.
She's freaking incredible.
Cool.
So incredible. Good. So, thank you everybody for watching. I appreciate that. Thank you guys for being here. I would love to have you both back at any time. I appreciate that. Next week, Jensen will be back. So will Mike Bennett. And who knows what other kinds of craziness. Thank you again so much, everybody at home.
From Bing.com, executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.